Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to News Hour Live on GBC News, your news and governance channel. My name is Micheline Taka. We are also live on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. All is set for the issue of national identification numbers, known as Ghana card numbers, to newborn babies. This follows the successful integration of the database of the Births and Deaths Registry, the National Identification Authority (NIA), and the Ghana Health Service. The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who announced this in Cape Coast at the 75th anniversary of the Ghana National College, said the first baby was issued with the National Identification Card number last Friday as part of a system test run. This means from August 2023, every child born in the country will receive an identification number at birth.
Very happy to announce here, and I think this is the first time because it just happened yesterday. We wanted to make sure we will be able to issue Ghana card numbers to children when they are born, and we have therefore integrated the databases of the National Identification Authority with the Births and Deaths Registry and the Ghana Health Service. The work has been completed. The full test was done yesterday, and I'm happy to say that the first baby where a Ghana card number was issued yesterday. So you are entering into a world from next month. From next month, all babies born in Ghana, once they take them to weigh in, they will be issued the Ghana card number. They will also get the birth certificate identification number at the same time, because the two are talking to each other. This is very transformational. This is what is happening in advanced economies.
Still in Cape Coast, the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has reiterated the importance of the government's digital agenda in transforming the country. Speaking at the 75th anniversary of the Ghana National College, Dr. Bawumia said the ongoing agenda was ample testimony to its appreciation of artificial intelligence and commitment to ensure the country was not left behind in the fourth industrial revolution. The Vice President said it was clear that countries that failed to digitalize would remain uncompetitive and that Ghana was preparing to be part of the revolution. We will bring you details of that story in the course of the bulletin. Journalism, the whole story, was the topic of the special roundtable discussion of journalists as part of GBC's 88th anniversary celebration. From training to ethics and freedom of expression, the seasoned newsmen shared their experiences and views on how the media has transformed over the years and what needs to be done to make it more vibrant and impactful.
In special democracies, the media serves as a bridge between the government and the citizens, providing them with information, analysis, and perspectives on political issues. On GBC's special roundtable discussion, the panelists shared their distressing and beautiful moments, hazards, and experiences as Ghanaian journalists and how these encounters define their journalism journey.
In the area of equipment,
right,
we have better equipment. Maybe they are not learning better equipment today. In the olden days, if you wanted to do a program, for instance, a commentator you wanted to do to cover an event, you have to go around at the weekends and find out what you can about the event. You did a lot of walking, a lot of asking, a lot of begging for information. Today you go to the internet and it's a matter of just pushing the button, and you get it all going.
When I started journalism back then, all I did was
human rights reporting. I mean, doing documentaries about children. You know,
right.
In fact, I won the best DJ award. That must have been 2008 for the best reporter because of some work I did about a child who had been trafficked, who I exposed the story. The child was saved. So that indeed was what I was doing back then, and I got the opportunity to travel. I mean, journalism has, and I believe that's where you see the calling versus identity.
Yes, that I can never forget was when I covered the conflict in the north between the Dagomas, the Konkomas,
okay,
you know,
yeah,
and the Gunjas. Mm-hmm. It was a three-pronged conflict. I remember we left Accra without an escort, like let's say
security escort,
police escort.
Okay.
So because we had an assignment, and so we had to leave Accra around 9:10. We drove. When we got to Gwipe, there was a roadblock, and the people were speaking in a language we all do not understand. Not knowing they were speaking Konkoma to us. They felt we were Konkoma people, and so if we had said anything in Konkoma, they would have finished us. And there was a bus, which has a burnt out bus, which was burnt with a whole lot of young men, Konkoma boys. You know.
How free is the media, and what is our independence like? Because sometimes you just told by the editor, go and cover this. I remember I was about 7 months pregnant, and the editor walked, then Christian Agri, walked into the newsroom. There was nobody there. I was there with the news editor. Tina, I said, yes, sir. You have to go to Winneba to cover an assignment immediately. Wow. Fine. They said that you should always be ready like a soldier to cover. But those times the road was not good. The vehicle that we went with, I still thank God that I was able to make it through. But we've had instances where some female colleagues lost their pregnancies. Oh. We don't want to mention. I don't want to mention them, of course, because maybe they'll be watching us. Yes. But that is how hazardous the work is.
In 2017, I was doing a story on the Metro Mass, and then they had done valuation at STC. So I was going there for an interview, and when I entered the MD of STC, his office, Nana Komia, who is a friend, there was a man there who was with the security, one of the security institutions. He's now a big man there. And when he heard me, I was the one coming, he waited, and when I entered, he said, you are the one we're coming to arrest. And I said, arrest me for... Then he named a private company, named the period, that he led the team to conduct that operation. And I said, for what? That I was coming there to extort money. So they laid ambush to arrest me. And what happened in this company was, I was doing an investigation and went there, and they gave me a fat envelope. I don't know whether it was cedis, dollars, or whatever denomination. I said I wasn't going to take it. Not knowing, whilst they were trying to get me to take it, these security people had come to lay ambush, so that if I just stepped out, I would be handcuffed with the cash I came to extort. And I don't think there's ever a way anybody would have believed me if I was on the front pages of going to extort money.
The real danger, though, is when you get a credible threat. I know you can relate to this. When you get a credible threat, and this happened when on our show we did this. We came across some documents that revealed a massive visa scam in Parliament, where members of Parliament were acquiring visas for people who were not their spouses, or children, but they were pretending they were, and so forth. And we got some documents and we did the story. The very next day, it was in the evening around 4 p.m., I was still at work. I got a phone call. The first time I said hello and the person hung up. Then the same number called again. I said hello and he said, Kojo Yankson. I said yes. You live at, and he said my address. I said yes. Who is this? Your son goes to school at, and he mentioned my son's school. Then I went quiet. I said, who am I speaking to? He said, it doesn't matter. Just know that the things you talk about affect people. I'm trying to get out of this country. The person who is trying to help me has stopped because of you. Let me tell you, if I stay in this country, only one of us can live.
News In indicates the Office of the Special Prosecutor, OSP, has invited Madam Cecilia Abena Dapaah, the immediate past Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, for questioning over suspected corruption. Let's speak with Madam Mary Ada. She is the Acting Executive Director for Ghana Integrity Initiative. Hello, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for joining us on News Hour.
Thank you very much for having me.
Clearly, keeping large amounts of monies at home can be viewed as suspicious. And what was your initial reaction when news broke during the weekend that an individual was keeping such colossal amount of money in her home?
Exactly so. It does not make a difference to say anything why any individual would choose to keep such colossal sums of money in their home. And let's add quickly that then it begins to bring about the total insufficient such activities of maybe having to constitute wrong behavior between the money being gotten illegally or how the profit is. And so for us, it is a worrying trend, and we thought we should mention that outside.
Well, but what does the law say? Are there any rules governing the limits to which the amount a person can keep at home?
Unfortunately for our jurisdiction, we do not have such a law. It is there for the banks not to keep some reserves up to a certain amount. And in our case, we do not have a cogent law that is eloquently to that. However, we have a code of public officers that stipulates that they should behave within a certain remit. And so if you read Article 286 of the Constitution, it talks about the public officer behaving in a professional manner. And I bring this up because the Public Services of Ghana as well has a code. And it has a code for all sorts of behaviors. And I believe this is one of the instances where we should all be worried that as a public officer who is supposed to show or shed the light for all of us to go through, it is her who unfortunately is called to attention for behaviors that flagrantly are not acceptable, particularly in the context in which we are speaking. Appointees or appointers are those who have told us about the issue of ensuring that we are digitizing this economy, formalizing our informal sector to have a formalized system where money is not taken out in any way we want, so that we are able to curtail inflation. And so it is sad that in this place where we had issues with mobilizing resources. At the time, the Bank of Ghana was complaining about the lack of reserves to help the BBC to import fuel, which we all needed crucially or critically to ensure that we move about. At a point where civil servants and private individuals who decided to use their money to invest to get some returns on it have had their hair cut and have had their hair shaved as a result of the situation we find ourselves in. Only for such amounts of money to be kept by a public officer. It does not, again I say it does not speak to the fact that a public officer is regulated by some behaviors. And remember, we have the perceptions out there that people in public office, and it's not just perception because some have actually written about this and spoken to it, that it is the fact that they get money, they keep money in their homes. And so we need to all be very, very circumspect in dealing with this, and we need to say it as it is. It is wrong, it is not right, and we should be careful how we go forward.
To add to what you're saying, even upon the arrest for the investigation, people were quick to also add that it is just going to be a 9-day wonder and that nothing will really come out of it. It is just a way of some sort to douse the fire. Is that going to be the case, or what do you think?
We hope not. We hope not. We seriously hope it is not just a 9-day wonder. There are questions to be answered. Even though we do not have a very strong report system when it comes to unemployment, we know for sure that in the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act, some provisions have been made for it. And so let us allow the investigative process to go on. At the end of the day, if there is culpability, I am very sure that the office did not just arrest just because of allegations, but they believe that some corruption and corruption-related offences can be activated, and that is why they have done this. And there is money to show. So the asset declaration regime then comes into question. They would want to know if all these monies have been declared. The GRA also comes in to show if this money, there is tax that is paid to the tax for all the records, for tax to the trade, for recording all these sums. That's just the ones that have been missing anyway, because we do not know how much she owns. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Madam, for your time. We are most grateful.
Thank you for having me.
We were speaking with Madam Mary Ada. She is the acting executive director for Ghana Integrity Initiative. She gave her thoughts on the Cecilia Dapaah and alleged corruption charged cases and matters arising. Earlier, we gleaned the thoughts of Dr. Frederick Ejakun Odro over reports that staff found and stole stashes of local and foreign monies from the home of Madam Cecilia Dapaah. Here are excerpts of that interview.
Madam Cecilia Dapaah is somebody who has never had any scandal around her. She's always been deemed to be somebody who is open, willing to engage, and he's never shown any public, she's not shown any level of arrogance often associated with some people in her position. And she has acquitted herself very well until this incident. So it came to me as a sad issue because we don't get enough women in high public places. And if you have one who has done so well so far and such a situation arise, I felt sad, and I felt hopefully there should be a better explanation to all there are things on our statute books that gives us guidance to some of these things. There's asset declaration, which requires public office holders to indicate how much they have. Their assets prior to taking office and when they are leaving office. The essence is to establish that people do not come into key government positions to amass wealth for themselves, or especially using illegal means to make money for themselves. That's why we have some of these provisions. So when people come into office and they are doing some of these things, all of us know that, I mean, the sums being quoted, I mean, I don't know the veracity of the sums being quoted, but whichever way you look at it, they are significant sums of money. And you would ordinarily expect that people holding such monies would keep them in a bank. So when such huge sums of monies are kept at home, you begin to have doubt as to the source of those funds. And that is why there is so much expectation that some level of investigation should be had. I'm very happy to hear the Office of Special Prosecutor has invited her and that she's being questioned. And at least an investigation is being undertaken to ensure that the sources of those funds are legal. We know what corruption does to us, and it is one thing that has beleaguered this country. Corruption is a very serious challenge to our national development. And if we do not fight corruption, and this is one of the ways to fight corruption, when office holders are holding some few sums of money, and you see, over the period, we've had cases, reported cases. There was one to do with a former Attorney General. There was one to do with a former Deputy Minister for Education who went, I mean, in his case, the story goes that he lost the money at the washing bay. It should tell us that, I mean, recently we've had a regional minister losing huge sums of money and all that. These are stories, when you hear about it, you should be worried as a Ghanaian. So I think we should have effective investigation into this occurrence and bring some finality. My only caution is that we shouldn't presume her to be guilty prior to the investigation, and she should be afforded every opportunity to defend herself.
Meanwhile, the Office of the Special Prosecutor has invited Madam Cecilia Abena Dapaah, the immediate past Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, for questioning over suspected corruption.
Noted that at 11:55 GMT on 24th July 2023, Madam Cecilia Dapaah, who resigned from the position of Minister of Sanitation and Water Resources on 22nd July 2023, was placed under arrest by the Office of the Special Prosecutor in respect of suspected corruption and corruption-related offences regarding large amounts of money and other valuable items reportedly stolen from her residence. Her arrest comes after the Office of the Special Prosecutor was inundated with numerous reports urging the immediate investigation of a significant sum of money stolen from the premises of the former minister. Two house helps, 18-year-old Patience Boche and 30-year-old Sarah J, are currently facing charges before an Accra Circuit Court for their involvement in the theft. It is alleged that they stole a sum of $1 million, 300,000 euros, and millions of Ghana cedis from Madame Dapaah's residence at Abelengpe in Accra during the period between July and October 2022.
You're watching NewsHour live on GBC News, your news and governance channel. Some insects suspected to be black flies have evaded some communities in the North Dawhenya electoral area of the Greater Accra region. The flies have been leaving bloodstains at the spot bite on the human body, and this has been creating anxiety among the residents. Following the invasion, The Health Directorate, together with the Assembly, are locked up in a health emergency meeting to find ways of dealing with the situation. Our Tema regional correspondent, Michael Dewonu, is at the meeting and joins us live with some updates. Michael, over to you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Michelin, and thank you so much for having us here on the afternoon bulletin. So, what is happening currently is that over the weekend, we heard that there was some insect invasion at North Dawenya. But I can confirm to you now that the situation is getting really difficult and getting out of hand. For now, we can also report of the case happening at the Ningo Pram Senior High School. We are also told that somewhere around the Bundase, where the military training happens, they are also experiencing same. So they are seeing an increase in the situation. It just happened in a small community somewhere around North Dawenya electoral area, but the situation is getting out of hand now. Fortunately, this afternoon, the Ningo Pram under which the district falls held a meeting this afternoon at the Ningo Pram district where the health directorate were involved. The chief executive was also involved. The assembly members for the area were also involved. Unfortunately, the representative from the health directorate would not speak to us, but fortunately we have the assemblyman with us, and some of the key issues that they have been discussing has to do with the fact that for now they can't tell what kind of insect that is. And so what they are asking community members to do is to protect them, is to protect themselves, wear long sleeves. And you can see I have bottom up, even up to the very last bottom on my neck. And we are also told that they want to take some of the insect to the Noguchi Memorial Institute to test, to find out what kind of insect that is. We would ask the assemblyman to join us to give us some details that came out of the meeting and what they want to do immediately to make sure that they deal with the situation. Thank you so much for joining us here on GBC News.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Moses Nipikuto, the assembly member for North Dawenya electoral area. Barely a week ago, I received distress calls from residents of my electoral area, North Dawenya. The complaint has to do with the invasion of their community by certain insects, which they cannot really describe. They don't know the name of that particular insect. But what it does is that it bites you, and then you realize that the spot at which it lands on your skin, the insect end up sucking your blood. If you end up killing it, you see stains of blood. It leaves stains of blood. If you are a
victim yourself, I can see a spot.
Yes, exactly so. Exactly so. So I don't want to continue scratching it. It's itching, but I don't want to scratch it. If I do, it will swell more. So if you look at my legs are covered by the trousers I'm wearing. Otherwise, you will see the spot it swells. Okay. So what we are doing is that we told them that we want to make a follow-up on the case. Little did I know that that particular insect has been living with them for a long time, but they didn't know.
So
they thought it's a normal. The first time they are experiencing it. Okay. They said the first time. Little did they know that it's the type that they said it can cause other forms of diseases. Okay. So when it happened, I called the district director of health, and then I lodged a complaint. And then the environmental health officer we informed her, and she said they will take it up. As it stands now, we are fortunate we are here at the district assembly here. There was an emergency meeting. Sure. When the district chief executive heard about it, he decided to summon an emergency meeting. And then at the meeting, a decision was taken that they need to get a sample of the insects, and then they will take it to the Noguchi Memorial Center to go and then know the kind of insect that it is, so that they'll find a lasting solution to it. But in the interim, we advise that we should continue to wear long sleeves and then to protect our body, and then trousers. But the students, That is our focus now, our problem now.
So can you confirm to us? We are told that the Ningo Pram Senior High School have also experienced.
Oh yes, Pram Senior High.
Oh okay.
Pram Senior High have experienced it, and then the cluster of schools within my jurisdiction, North Dawenya electoral area, they have also experienced the bite. As we speak currently, some people couldn't go to school today because of the bite. They are afraid of the bite, so they don't want to go to school today. And the swelling is too much, and it itches. So when you continue to scratch like this, that is where you feel it more. You'll be enjoying the scratch, though. At the end of the day, the place will get swollen. Yes. So we are praying for.
But in the meeting, didn't it come? Maybe we need to do some emergency spraying or something in the interim to make sure that we come down. Have we reported to the Ministry of Health, Ghana Health Service? Have we done anything of a sort?
Yeah, for now we have we know we have the experts. I mean the health experts, professionals. They are there. We are believing that the assembly will take it up through the health professionals.
Okay.
But in the interim, we need to protect ourselves as individuals. We need to take our own protection into our own hands, so that at the end of the day, we are hoping that the assembly through the health directorate will do the needful to bring life to normalcy.
Okay. Yeah. So what we'll be doing is that we would be going to the community to also find out. But thank you so much. So Michelin, that is the situation we're having here. The meeting just ended some 30 minutes ago, and those are some of the fallout from the meeting. But for now, you need to take the protection of yourself into your own hands, wearing protective clothing and making sure that you don't step out so often. School children are being affected in the Dawenya, North Dawenya electoral area. The Pram Senior High School, we are also told they are being affected. The situation is getting gradually out of hand, and we will continue to find out what should be done immediately to make sure that this situation is calmed down. We will be entering into the community also and speak with some persons that have been affected. And so viewers should just keep it locked on GBC News. In all our subsequent bulletins, we'll be updating them. But for now, that is the situation we are having here. Some insect, of which we do not yet know what type of insect. That some people are saying that it's a black fly, but we don't yet know because that confirmation has also yet not been given. And we are expecting the assembly will forward this situation quickly to the Ghana Health Service and to the Ministry of Health to deal with the situation. Lives are at stake. And so, Michelin, I'll hand over to you whilst we go back into the community and update our viewers in our subsequent bulletin. Thank you so much.
No, that was our Tema regional correspondent. The Bolgatanga Municipal Assembly has cleared some dam sites in the municipality to improve sanitation. The exercise forms part of the Assembly's agenda to make the Upper East Regional Capital the cleanest and improve sanitation conditions in the area.
Most of the dam sites visited in the municipality were filled up, even though the areas had been provided with refuse containers. The negative attitude of people who litter indiscriminately has also compounded the problem. The Municipal Environmental Health Officer, Mr. Evans Bona, said the refuse dams have not been emptied in the last 5 years due to lack of funds.
Anytime there's a spillover, it goes into the drain and move from here to OA station. But once we are able to evacuate it, it will reduce the volume of the refuse here, and it will help us, maintain the place as well.
An assembly member for Nawamai electoral area, Alhaji Babarazak Muhammad, was full of praise to the assembly for finally clearing the refuse, a positive action he believes will reduce the stench and a possible outbreak of cholera in the area.
It's a good call by the assembly and supported by Zumlaya to execute this, to make Bolgatanga municipality a very clean place for people to be able to go about their normal activities, and it will be an incident free of this kind of cholera and other things that is likely to hit us.
The regional manager of Zoom Lion Ghana Limited, Mr. Maxwell Ayipala, entreated the residents to patronize the services of waste management providers in the management of their waste. He said the exercise will be replicated in the Binduri district, Kasina Nankana West district, and the Bilsa South district. This exercise also forms part of the government's agenda of making the country the cleanest in Africa.
Business comes up shortly.
It's a nightmare dealing with the filth in Accra. The gutters are choked with garbage. The streets are a jumble of filth. The beauty of the serene beaches is marred with human feces and plastics as many defecate in the open. Residents are up in arms when the situation gets out of hand.
Because of these litters, you can't even stand there for even a minute. As we speak here, if the mosquitoes even refuse to breathe on it.
Partners in sanitation suggest alternative policy interventions.
Landfilling is not the way forward. We are recommending treatment facilities.
But in all of this, have we made gains in the sector?
How can you have the people who have a lot of dignity and still practicing identification?
The task facing Ghana to achieve SDG Goal 6 on clean water and sanitation for all is Herculean and riddled with equally complicated hurdles. Join us every Thursday on Wash Hour from 4:05 p.m. to 5 p.m. as we seek to put these issues and more in perspective. Watch a repeat on Fridays from 1 to 2 p.m. and on Sundays 9:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. It is our duty to keep our surroundings clean and free from disease.
It's raining great goodies and value all over Ghana. GBC is 88 years old, and for every business you do on any GBC platform in anniversary month of July, you get 88% extra value. 88 and 88. Do business with us from the 1st to the 31st July 2023 and get extra 88% bonus all over GBC platforms. The benefits are valid till September 30, 2023. 88 and 88. Love the new GBC. Terms and conditions apply. Contact us on 0303 959 604 or 0303 959 605 and to buy email sales@gbcghanaonline.com. 88 and 88.
Live coverage of the 57th International Convention of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community. Join us for this unique event, founded on true Islamic principles. A truly international event, uniting mankind under the banner of peace, love, and harmony. Tune in for the live coverage of Jalsa Salana UK 2023, the annual convention of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community. Watch live coverage on the 28th, 29th, and 30th July 2023 at the...
I'm not blaming you for sleeping with another woman.
You threw me out of your house because I slept with your friend.
I'm not angry either, at least not anymore.
Did she put a knife to your throat and forced you to have sex with her?
I just feel pain.
Please don't ask me if I'm okay, because clearly I'm not.
I mean, my life was perfect.
Thinking of you makes me happy.
And then you came along and you just wrote it all down to hell.
I'm getting very tired of your little zingers that I am the uncompromising one. You know what, let's just lay it out on the table and get it finished once and for all.
You know one bad thing about being in love, Joe? Is that it makes you vulnerable. It opens up your chest, it opens up your heart, which in turn makes it easy for someone to get inside and mess it out.
Blurred Lines, coming soon to DTV.
Hello, welcome to the business news with me, Esther Eidu Ohumeu. The Minister for Finance, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, would on Thursday present the mid-year review of the budget. There has been a growing interest in this budget review as it will bring to the fore the requirements of the International Monetary Fund on Ghana's expenditure and revenue patterns. One key concern of many is whether new taxes will be introduced to beef up the country's revenue measures. To speak more on this, we have on the line an economist, Mr. Emmanuel Amwa-Dakwa. Good afternoon, Emmanuel. Hello, Emmanuel. Can you hear me, please? Hello, Emmanuel.
Esther.
Yes. Yes, you are welcome, Emmanuel.
Thank you.
Great. So, do you think new taxes will be introduced in the review of the budget? I'm afraid we are having some challenges connecting with Emmanuel Amwa-Dakwa. Now to other stories. The Chartered Institute of Ghana, CIIG, is asking the government to exempt the insurance industry from the domestic debt exchange program. The president of the institute, Mr. Solomon Lati, said the program will adversely affect insurance firms who are at risk of defaulting on payment of daily claims worth 4.5 million to policyholders. We'll go for a short break and try and connect with Emmanuel again. Welcome back. We are trying to connect back to Emmanuel. Emmanuel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Esther. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So I was asking, are we to expect new taxes in this budget?
No, not that I expect many taxes in this review budget.
All right. So many are calling for the reintroduction of the tolls and also a replacement of the e-levy. What is your take on that? I think we have lost Emmanuel there again. We'll go for a short break. We'll be right back.
It is a nightmare dealing with the filth in Accra. The gutters are choked with garbage. The streets are a jumble of filth. The beauty of the serene beaches is marred with human feces and plastics as many defecate in the open. Residents are up in arms when the situation gets out of hand.
Because of these meetings, you can't even stand there for even a minute. As we speak here, if the mosquitoes even refuse to breathe on it.
Partners in sanitation suggest alternative policy interventions.
Landfilling is not the way forward. We are recommending treatment facilities.
But in all of this, have we made gains in the sector?
How can you have a people who have a lot of dignity and still practicing open defecation?
The task facing Ghana to achieve SDG Goal 6 on clean water and sanitation for all is Herculean and riddled with equally complicated hurdles. Join us every Thursday on Wash Hour from 4:05 p.m. to 5 p.m. as we seek to put these issues and more in perspective. Watch a repeat on Fridays from 1 to 2.
Thanks for staying on. We're going to continue with our interview with Emmanuel Amoah Darkwa on the media review of the budget. Emmanuel, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you, Esther.
So my second question was, many are calling for the exemption of the toll booths, replacement of the toll booth with the e-levy. What is your opinion on that?
I think it's not an either or. For me, we have to look at these two from different perspectives. Let me start from the road tolls. Road tolls in its traditional model as we have implemented in the past, I'm not going to call for that road toll, because one of the reasons why those road tolls was abolished was that a lot of commuters spend, precious time and then also fuel around, tolls to be able to pay 1 cedi or 2 cedis, and that was not efficient. And so I will call for more efficiency if we are going for road tolls, not road tolls in the traditional form, but it can be done in a different way. Why can't we add it to, the road, we call it roadworthy we pay in a year, so that it will be more, efficient, and that a lot of drivers will be able to pay. I think that is what we should be able to offer, either than going for this traditional model. On the e-levy, I think that further reduction is ideal because of how the e-levy has performed over the past 2 years. It's all about the numbers. Once you reduce the percentage of the tax, then a lot of people will be able to patronize the service, and government will be able to meet its budget target with regards to e-levy. So these are my two comments on the two questions you have just asked.
Okay, still on revenue, do you think the e-invoicing by the Ghana Revenue Authority has served its purpose so far?
That's fantastic, because in our quest to digitize and in our quest to rake in a lot of revenue, we have to look at more digital tools to use. And the Ghana Revenue started the e-invoicing from large taxpayers and then continued with medium taxpayers. Preliminary data shows that there have been some significant improvement in terms of how much tax that GRA has been able to rake. And so I think it is fantastic. We should be able to do that so that we can rake in a lot of revenue. As part of this IMF program, we should be able to grow tax revenue to GDP from 15% to 8% a period of these 3 years that we are going to implement this program. And so I think the e-invoicing is a step in the right direction for government to get a lot of revenue.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
That was Mr. Emmanuel Amoah Darkwa speaking to us about the media review of the budget, focusing on revenue and expenditure. Now, the policy rate is up by 50 basis points, indicating that the Bank of Ghana's lending rate to the commercial banks is now at 30%. The governor of the central bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, says the hike took into cognizance development in both domestic and international markets, with elevated inflation driven largely by food and energy prices, hence the move by the central banks to tame inflation.
When you tighten monetary policy and you tighten fiscal policy, fiscal consolidation, that has an impact on your import levels also. You reduce demand in the economy. That affects, your ability to import also. So we are seeing that the tightening is beginning to impact the import side of the economy as well, which helps in the correction and reduces the pressure on the exchange rate. And that's exactly what, the framework is supposed to do. So we are seeing the right responses coming in through the import side, and that is helping to stabilize the exchange rate and also helping to bring inflation down. All that we have seen is that they have returned to profitability in the first quarter of this year. But the banks still need to build their buffers, their capital buffers, right? So this is really where the emphasis should be. And I said that even though they have started recording profits, these profits cannot be, whittled away through distribution to shareholders and all of that, but they have to be conserved so that they would be able to build, their capital buffers. So the stress test that we did, yes, it showed that the banks would need, recapitalization. That's another word for rebuilding of buffers. And the outcome is very much consistent with the stress test that the Bank of Ghana did. And it also means that, yes, we would need a financial stability fund for those banks that struggle to rebuild their capital buffers. This is really the idea behind the setting up of the fund.
There is more news after the break. Thanks for watching.
Welcome back. 9 people, including 4 soldiers, were killed Sunday evening when a civilian plane crashed in Sudan due to technical reasons as the war in the East African country entered its 100th day. The army said a child had survived the crash of an Antonov plane, which killed 9 people. Port Sudan Airport is the only one still working in the country due to the conflict. Since April 15, battles between the army led by Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and the Parliamentary Rapid Support Forces headed by Mohammed Hamdan Daglo have killed more than 3,900 people, according to the latest toll from the Armed Conflicts Location and Event Data Project. In July, the International Organization for Migration disclosed that over 2.2 million people have been internally displaced, mostly from Khartoum. One of the BBC's longest-serving and most respected journalists, Mr. George Alagaya, have died at age 67, 9 years after being diagnosed with cancer. A statement from his agent said he died peacefully on Monday, surrounded by his family and loved ones.
Mr. George Alagaya was a fixture on British TV news for more than 3 decades, presenting the BBC News at 6 for the past 20 years. Before that, he was an award-winning foreign correspondent, reporting from countries ranging from Rwanda to Iraq. He was diagnosed with stage 4 bowel cancer in 2014 and revealed in October 2022 that it had spread further. Alagaya won awards for reports on the famine and war in Somalia in the early 1990s and was nominated for a BAFTA in 1994 for covering Saddam Hussein's genocidal campaign against the Kurds of northern Iraq. He was also named Amnesty International's Journalist of the Year in 1994 for reporting on the civil war in Burundi and was the first BBC journalist to report on the genocide in Rwanda. George Maxwell Alagaya was born in Colombo, Sri Lanka before moving to Ghana and then England in childhood.
44 goals were scored on match week 6 fixture in the ongoing Ghana Beach Soccer Premier League.
Cheetah BSC beat Nungwa BSC 4-2. Sea Sharks beat Okra Rangers 6-0. Layoka BSC 4, Teshi United BSC 2, and Senya Sharks BSC 1, Dansoma BSC 2. In Zone 2, Sunset Sports Keta BSC beats Adan Assurance BSC 5-1. Kaji Havaji Mighty Warriors BSC beats Ocean Stars Tegbeat BSC 5-4. And KG Miracle BSC beats Voja Iron Breakers BSC 5-3. These are the standings of the teams in the two zones. Cheetah BSC is first with 15 points, followed by Layoka BSC 15 points. Next is Nungwa BSC with 10 points, Sea Sharks BSC with 9 points, Senya Sharks BSC 6 points, Dansoma BSC 6 points, Teshi BSC 5 points, and Okra BSC is last on the chart in Zone 1 with 4 points. Ada Assurance BSC tops Zone 2 with 13 points, followed by Keji Havaji with 10 points, Sunset Sports Keta BSC 10 points, Keji Miracle BSC 7 points, Ocean Stars Tegbi 6 points, Voja Iron Breakers BSC is last on the chart on Zone 2 with 5 points.
Italy scored an 87th minute goal to grab a win in their Group G Women's World Cup opener against Argentina.
Wide to this left side, forward team kept it alive. Off that left foot, into the box. An aerial battle! Goal! Italy! Right off the bench.
Pressure draped all over her. Giorelli gets up and just nods that one up and over. An outstretched Correa, who can only watch that one tuck in.
It's a historic goal for her. It's her fourth career one. That's it. The referee, Melissa Borjas, blows.
Spanish giants Real Madrid opened their pre-season account with a win. They defeated Serie A side AC Milan by 3-2 on Sunday.
Pulisic feeding in, and it's AC Milan who have broken the dead. Lax clearance though by the AC Milan team is punished in some style, and it's Luca Romero. Seeing his team trying to come back, and it's a gift. Oh, it's picked off now, and Valverde's at it again! Oh, definitively now, Vinny Jr. trying to add an exclamation point. Vinny Jr.
That's all in this packet. Thanks so much for your time. You can watch the news again on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation.